Well, everyone, hello. Welcome to the show today. I am joined by Nick Bradley, and you could say I've hijacked his podcast, stolen, whatever you want. This is investing. Nick is the co-author of our book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing. If you've seen this book out there, we're pretty much still pumping this because it's such a great read. If you are starting with your investing, start no other place than an investment into this book. It will really help you out. There's links in the show notes or whatnot. Nick Bradley, you are effectively retired. You have moved to Spain. We did a full episode on the podcast about your FIRE journey, but as of right now, you're back visiting family in the US&A.
That's right. We do the first couple little bit as we're going to be in Spain. We did a 10-month lease, so kind of knowing we might come back and hang out with family and visit. So we're doing 1 month in Ohio and then 1 month in Michigan, visiting family and just sweating as much as we can. It's so humid, and I am so glad we live in Spain.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to interview you today, and then at the end of this episode, we'll give everyone a bit of an update of what's happening with This Is Investing and Nick's FIRE journey, all the things. When I interview people, Nick, for these kind of episodes, I ask them a series of questions. Okay. They're the same questions because then at least if people listen regularly, they can kind of get a bit of a reference for who's absolutely nuts and who is good, all that. You decide which you want to do. What do you think makes
That's a bit of pressure?
Yeah, a little bit. What do you think makes a successful investor in your mind?
Patient. Definitely patient. Someone who's willing to do a little bit of research, although really not a lot is required. As we talk about a lot, you can just get into a passive index ETF. You own the majority of the market. The market is designed to go up and to the right. So you need to be patient. If you have patience and you regularly invest, you will be a successful investor, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I only say almost because, you never know. You might have someone on the commission listening.
Yeah.
I have found it to be a successful strategy. Be patient.
Right. Retirement savings or non-retirement savings investing, and why?
Yes, I have. Probably my net worth is about half and half. So when you look at the retirement accounts for my wife and I, about half of our net worth, the other half is in non-retirement. Obviously, I decided at 40, I just turned 43 yesterday, actually.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. At 40,
yesterday. Whoa. Yesterday.
2 days ago.
Oh, I was going to say, I texted you on your birthday. Did I get it wrong?
I think you did, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. It was 2 days ago.
Okay, cool.
So, if you decide to retire in your early 40s, and you're in America at least, you have a very hefty penalty to pull your money out. Now, there's some tricks and other things you can do, but we want our retirement savings growing until we're 59 and a half, 60 years old. So it has been to our benefit that we had been accumulating in taxable accounts. If everybody has a little bit of extra money set aside, there's nothing wrong. It kind of started for us doing a car fund. We were like, okay, let's buy a car. Let's drive for 15 years. Let's keep paying ourselves for 4 or 5 years. And then that money will go into the investment account. And then we never really stopped. And we have pulled money out of that to pay down the car. So we haven't had a car payment in, 15 years or so.
Yeah, cool. Pay off extra onto the mortgage or invest?
So this one, I'm going to be a hypocrite, but actually I'm just teaching you from life's lesson. I paid off my house early, and I regret doing that. So I wish that because the loans, you're looking at historically low rates, right? I think I should have taken the extra money that I was paying off my house and investing at that time. I didn't do that. I paid the house off because it was more of a family-based decision. So I guess that's my answer. Choose what's best situation for you. Do I regret kind of doing it now? A little bit, but because my wife wanted to step back from work and because paying the house off gave us that opportunity, it worked out for us. But financially, would have been better at a low interest rate, dumping money into the market.
For the Aussies listening, there is a carve out there. Nick and people in the US can pretty much get a 30-year mortgage that's fixed rate. And what Nick is saying is, in his wisdom, he didn't get a 30-year fixed rate at 2%, and then invested his money elsewhere to get 10 or more percent. He paid off the mortgage and he had some opportunity costs there. That's the TLDR. Where in Australia we have the floating rate for variable mortgage rates.
Most Americans can't be trusted with a 5-year floating rate. So yeah, the average is 20 or 30 year.
What do you reckon the biggest barrier stopping people investing is, or at least getting started?
Probably they think that they need to know more than they really do. So at least in terms of someone who's like acting interested, you can get over you can create this little hill of like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Where do you go? And obviously we wrote a book to help people with that kind of thing. But outside of that, it's in America, you're looking at debt. Debt is a huge problem for people. We have a consumer-based society. You have no problem wasting $50 a month on Amazon purchases, but you don't see the compounding effect of, had you been doing $50 a month and investing years over years, how far ahead you would be right now.
Mm-hmm. So following on that, do you think you actually have to be smart to be good with money?
I think both you and I have proven no, you do not need to be.
So true.
It helps if you're diligent. It helps if you are consistent, and it helps if you do some research. But literally, in today's world, you don't have to be. You can build a big, large brokerage account without even ever talking to a financial advisor by a couple clicks of a button.
What's your definition of success, and do you think you have achieved that?
What is my definition? Good question. I would say if you are going to bed slightly content, although I struggle with that word because I don't feel like I'm not a very content person. But I think if you are attempting each day to make the world a little bit better place, love your family a little bit more, pad your bank account if you can do that as well, and you're not stressed out, then I think you have achieved that. And I think I hit that barrier for myself maybe 3 out of 7 days a week.
It's interesting you say you're not content, but you basically had a big pile of money, moved to Spain, and you don't work, quote unquote. So that's interesting. Is it just like the teen angst in you?
I think it is like my personality. Like I'm always looking to the next thing. I'll look back and be like, oh man, like I could have done this. I could have done this. Why did we pay the house off? Why didn't I do this?
Yeah, fair enough.
So looking at it, it's like, this could be triple the size of whatever,
If you had a spare $10,000 right now, what would you do with it and why?
Is this long-term dollars, or do I need these dollars?
Take that question any way you want.
Okay. I'll break it up into 3 categories. If I need income right now, I would put it in a ETF that does business development companies, which are typically high-paying income yielding companies, around 12% or so. And I would put the 10 grand into that to create income. If I didn't need income and I'm just looking for long-term investment, and it's, let's say 10, 15 years down the road, I would buy Bitcoin.
Okay. What has been your best investment to date?
Like ever?
Yeah.
My wife, Rebecca. Booyah. Okay. She doesn't listen. I don't know why I had to say that. Yes, I did. I'm just kidding. She's not there. Best investment? Probably Microsoft. I don't know if we've talked about this before. In 2003, when I was in college, I bought like 25 or 30 shares of Microsoft, and I forgot about it. And it grew from like a $5,000 position to like a $45,000 position. So when you forget about investments and you just leave them alone, they grow. My best investments this year have been in hymns which is a pharmaceutical stock. I did an episode about HIMSS a couple days ago. I'm up like 135% or something like that. And in SMR, which is a nuclear power company, and I'm up about 110% in that this year.
Interesting. What are you currently reading or listening to?
I'm listening to Nassim Nicholas Taleb's book about randomness. And then I've got, actually, think about diving into another book of his as well. But I listen to, obviously, your podcast.
No, you don't.
I do listen to podcasts.
Why?
And typically when I'm in the car driving the kids, when I'm coming back from dropping the kids off, I like it when you and John banter. I think those are fun episodes. And then I listen to Prof. Galloway sometimes. If I like his morning, I think it's on Mondays, his like market update episode.
Yeah, cool. And finally, if there was one book people should read to be a better investor, what would that be?
Besides ours, like that's an obvious choice, right? The Quick Start Guide to Investing by Glen James and Nick Bradley. I also really enjoyed, I read a lot of investing books. It's really hard for me to think of the names of the books, but I'll send you a list you can put in the show note.
Sure. That's an easy out. Hey, thanks for answering those questions. We'll take a break and we'll be back right after this with an update of what's happening with Nick's investing and all the things right after this. Okay. So you moved to Spain. You like doing investing content. You've done the This Is Investing podcast for a couple of years now, wouldn't it?
I think it's 3 in September.
Yeah. And so basically the long and the short is we have both decided, well, maybe I decided for you a bit, Nick's going to start his own YouTube. So I guess in your words, tell people what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, we went to FinCon, what was that, 2022, or was it 23? Either way.
23.
Time gets away from you.
Yeah.
And we talked about, hey, let's do some YouTube. Obviously, you were inspired. You got the whole studio. Looks great. You're doing a good job of that. And I've just been obviously stuck in kidland and moving to Spain and all sorts of stuff. So I kind of dragged my feet a little bit more, but a lot of it's going to be based on kind of my story, what we're doing, how we're living in Spain. But a lot of it will be kind of similar to what This Is Investing has been about. So it's called 15-Minute Money. I'm going to try to keep each episode to 15 minutes. I'll be talking about option strategies and like my investments week to week, because about every Friday I switch out my options portfolio. So I'll do cash secure puts or longer term options plays. So I'll spend a few minutes about that and then dive into kind of some of this week's events and news. And then, as I say on This Week or This Is Investing, I do the research so you don't have to. So I'm looking at market trends. I'm looking at passive income ideas and just kind of overall investing ideas. So 15-minute money, if you actually wanted to see my face for some reason.
Yeah, so what we will do is we'll put in the show notes of this episode your YouTube link. We might also, before this comes out, potentially set you up with a podcast feed if you did want to rip out the audio as well, or do you want to keep just the YouTube? It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, so a couple of things. Originally, because since 2023, when we went to FinCon, I'm just saying to Nick, like, you've got to do YouTube, you've got to do YouTube, you've got to do YouTube. And I really think, Nick's content is great, and I just want him to effectively own 100% of his platform and his content. And effectively, I said to you, Nick, and to him when we're talking about you, people pretend you're not here. I think it's a better use of your time to do your own content, put it on YouTube, and then if you want to strip out the audio, strip it out. But then I was originally going to just give you the feed. This Is Investing, but there's primarily an Aussie audience that hangs off that feed. And at the same time, I'm wanting to do a 10-minute episode as a bonus on my main show on a Friday without any ads. And this one could be an exception because we did an ad break. Because I just wanted to do bonus encouraging content for people. And we had I think the first one I just called it TMI, the 10-minute investor. But I'm like, we did the branding and people can see it in the feed. It's like, it just doesn't work with our brand. I'm like, look, we've already got This Is Investing. I'm just going to use that brand for my 10-minute episodes. And then I'll also those episodes that I do, because that podcast originally started as My Millennial Money Express, which was a short form version. So it's kind of going to go back to that a bit. And any episodes that we put up as a bonus on a Friday on the main show, if people don't want the main show and they just want those bonus episodes or those 10-minute episodes a week, they can subscribe over at This Is Investing. So trying to not recreate the wheel. And I've said to you, Nick, that, we'll keep your YouTube details in the show notes for 6 months, a year. I don't care. And, promote that. We also are going to, and Nick and I have only really texted about this. We haven't talked about it in real time. When he gets back to Spain, I'm planning on doing a YouTube live on a Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Australia time, Eastern. It works for Nick. So there could be the odd Monday where he jumps on and we shoot the breeze and talk investing, and he'll be promoting his investing YouTube and he'll just join me as a guest. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Have you had any further thought about that? An hour of your time on a Monday morning?
The time zones always get us. But yeah, if the time zones work out, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. So look, there's no real story here. And if you've listened to any of the business updates that I've done on the This Is Business podcast, I think as a business, you always need to be looking at what you've got, what's working, what isn't. It's just a bit of a reset. There's no real scandal or story here. The This Is Investing 10-minute episodes, really I'm just going to promote our book every episode and on purpose, with the exception of probably this episode, turn off ads. So it can just be there'll be ads on the This Is Investing feed probably. I just need to work out with our provider. I don't really want to do mid-rolls and pre-rolls, maybe just post-roll ads, because it's not really a money thing. I just want to collate those episodes over on the This Is Investing channel. And also I wanted to do dedicated content for YouTube. So that's kind of everything that's happening. Anything else from your end, Nico?
No, it's been great. I look forward to hearing more about Australian investing on This Is Investing.
Yeah, and so what I'm going to do is every time I do an episode with somebody, we'll just do another 10-minute episode and I'll ask them these questions, or if there's a topic that's on their mind, we'll ask them about it. So look, when I'm visiting Spain to do a heap of content with Nick, so we'll do some investing episodes over there. We can probably actually start the Monday night YouTube lives in Spain.
Yeah, at the Playa Nudista.
What's that?
The nude beach.
Oh.
We'll do some interviews.
Yeah, let's go. What up? So anyway, that's kind of where everything's at. So yeah, anything else you want to add, Nick?
What kind of coffee are you drinking?
I think it's a Colombian.
It's my favorite bean, actually.
Is it really?
Well done.
Yeah, I got it from Stitch Coffee. If you're in Sydney, at the QVB on the ground floor, just down from the Hague's chocolate end. That's where I got it. So anyway, we'll leave it there. But yeah, thank you for your service with This Is Investing. But remember, you didn't quit. You got fired.
Yeah,
just remember that.
I will. You'll be seeing my unemployment claim coming through shortly.
Awesome. Very, very awesome. And to be honest, it wasn't really a money thing for either of us. And I just because I would rather Nick, my friend, own 100% of the time and effort that he puts into investing. And like anyone who says, oh, I'm going to start a podcast, I'm like, no. You're starting a YouTube channel. If you want to rip the audio back to Apple and Spotify and knock yourself out, but yeah, that's kind of, I want Nick to succeed and I don't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah, the 15-minute money is going to have a lot of graphs, a lot of content, a lot of B-roll stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I look forward to learning some new skills.
It'd be annoying if you get really internationally famous and I don't.
We'll do a second book. You can be my co-author anytime, Iceman.
Thank you. Okay, friends. Thanks for, this has probably only been relevant for those who listen to Nick and have read our investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing. There's a link in the show notes for that. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Thanks, Nick. I will see you soon.
Hey, buddy.
Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorized representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.